Hello, I'm Asif, and welcome to CMake for Beginners Part 2. If you have not seen my first tutorial, that is CMake for Beginners Part 1, I recommend that you go back and watch that tutorial first before coming here. You'll find the link in the description below. Okay, so in our previous tutorial, we had learned how to create a simple CMake project with a single source file. In the second part, let us learn how to create a CMake project with multiple source files. To do so, we will use a directive called as include directories. This directive allows us to specify the header files directory. That is, if I have got header files in my project, and if I want to specify the location of the header files so that CMake can go and read files from there, then with the help of include directories, we can do so. Second, we are going to use a directive called as add executable. If you remember, we had used this in our previous tutorial too. Add executable allows us to include or add executable files to our project. Here, you can add one or multiple source files to your project. In this tutorial, let us create a simple Hello World project with two source files and a header file. Number one, let's create the source files. So you can see we have got three files here. Number one, main.cpp, which is using or including a library called as or header file called as 4.h. In the main method, we call the function 4 and return 0. Next, we have got the header file where we declare the function 4. And then next we have got 4.cpp, which includes the header file 4.h. And here we create the function called as void4, which prints hello world. And then finally, we have got our CMake list.txt, and as we discussed in our previous tutorial, CMake list.txt, this file allows us write the instructions to let CMake know how to build the project. So the first line specifies the minimum version required for our project. So I'm specifying 0.21. Next line is the name of your project or solution. So we say name of our project is Hello World. Next, we have got something called as include directories. And in this, we specify project source dir. The keyword project source dir refers to your current directory where your project source code is saved. So in this example, to keep it simple, what we are doing is we are saving all our files, the CPP files and the header files in the same directory. So therefore, we are telling CMake to look for header files in this location, that is project source dir. In case you have a separate directory where you are storing your header files, you will specify that folder name here. We'll learn about that in our next tutorial. But right now, let's assume that we have all our files stored in a single directory. So therefore, we specify our source directory as include directory. So whenever my program is looking for the header file called as 4.h, it will go and look in this location. Next step is adding the source files. To do so, we use a directive called as add executable, and then we specify the app name. This is our project name or application name. So this app will have two source files, main.cpp and 4.cpp. I've also added a comment here which says, be sure there's exactly one main function in the source files. Yes, you cannot have two or three source files with two or three main functions. Though you have got multiple source files, there should be only one main file. Okay, let's try building this code now. So first, I'll open Notepad and say hash include 4.h. Int main. We call the function 4 when it returns 0, close a main method. Let us save this program. So let us save this. I'll go to File, Save As, and I'm going to save it in a location. So I'm saving in a location CMake tutorials hello world. So I'll save this as main.cpp. This is saved. Let's open another notepad. Here, let's declare the function void 4. Let us save this as four.h. Then let's open another notepad. Here, say hash include iostream hash include 4.h, and here let's create this function called as 4 void 4, which prints hello world. Standard cout hello world I'll use exclamation and slash n for new line, semicolon, and close this. Just save this as 4.cpp. And finally, we need to create the CMake list.txt. So let's open the notepad. Okay, I'll copy this code and put it here. Okay, so here we specify CMake minimum requirement, which is 3.2.1. The project name is Hello World. We include the directory that is our project source directory. We add the executables with the app name. App name is app, main.cpp and 4.cpp. And I'm also adding a comment. This is not required, but just to make sure everyone is well aware of it. And this one, let's save it as CMake lists.txt. Okay, so here we go. We have got all our programs stored. So here is my hello world folder, and you can see we have got CMake list.txt, we have got 4.cpp, 4.header file, and main.cpp. Okay, now let us build a project. To build a project, we open a command prompt and navigate to the folder where we have saved our files. Before we start building, we will create a folder called as build. This is because we want to keep our source code and the build separate. It's just to organize your files properly. Then let us build a solution now. So to build a solution, we type CMake dot dot. So we invoke CMake and dot dot specifies the location of our CMake lists.txt file. So this says go to parent directory, and in the parent directory we have got the CMake lists.txt file present. Okay, let's enter now, and then let's go. Okay, let's execute this. Mm, You can see it is building the project for me. Okay, so build is successful, and this says build files have been written to, and it shows the location. So if I go to my save location, the build directory, and you can see we have got all our build files present here. I can open this in Visual Studio, just double click here. Okay, here we go. So you can see in the solution called as Hello World, it has created a project for me called as app. And if I expand this, I go to source files, you can see we have got our main.cpp here. To run this, right click on this and say as set as startup project, and then just click on run button. And here it goes. It prints hello world for me. So this is how you create a CMake project with multiple source files. Okay, if you don't want to use Visual Studio to build your project, you can also build your project with a keyword called as build. And this will create an exe file for us in the debug directory. Let's try that. So first, let me go here and let us delete all these files from my build directory. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, I have to close this. Close this. Okay, here we go. So we have got our build directory which is empty. Now let us open the command window. I'll clear it, and once again I'll say CMake dot dot, and this will build the okay, you can see it is building our Visual Studio code. Now let us see how do we build the exe file for this. To do so, we use a command called as CMake dash dash build space dot. So say CMake hyphen hyphen build dot. You can see here we don't have a debug directory yet. So when I say build, this builds the executable for me. So here we have got a debug directory, and then we have got app.exe present here. So that is how we build a simple hello world application with multiple source using CMake. In our next tutorial, we will learn how to create libraries and use them using CMake. Till then, thanks for watching.